Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Matt from Pinnacle Chiropractic, your local pediatric, prenatal, and family chiropractic office here in the Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida area. Have you ever wondered why your child melts down and goes into full-fledged tantrum with the slightest change in routine, or maybe it's a new food or a new outfit that you ask them to try on, or bright lights or loud sounds? Do they struggle to fall asleep and regulate their emotions in a major way when they're tired, which they constantly seem like they're tired all the time? If you've got an overly emotional and exhausted child on your hands nearly 24/7, then it's very likely that your little one is struggling with sensory processing disorder or sensory issues, and that's what we're here to help with. So in this video, we're going to break down what sensory issues in kids really are, what some of the most common causes and triggers are, and most importantly, what you can do to help your child calm and regulate their sensory nervous system once again. So this is specifically for you parents that have a child that has some of those sensory struggles that we talked about: sensitivity to loud noises, sensitivity to textures, whether it's food or clothing items or clothing textures, sensitivity to sounds, smells, tastes, all of those different things. If you have a child, if you're a parent with a child with some of those sensory struggles, this video is specifically for you. So we're going to talk about some of the stories we've seen in our office. We've seen many cases of kids come in with sensory processing disorder or sensory struggles. And what often we see happen in our office is we're able to calm their brain, their nervous system down, and so they're able to try new foods and not be such a picky eater. They're able to wear clothing that they weren't able to wear. They're able to go into public restrooms that have the automatic hand dryers or automatic flushing toilets that are super loud, or those super loud environments they're able to go in without having those emotional explosions or those big meltdowns or what we think of as tantrums happening because their sensory system is overwhelmed. So we've taken care of a lot of cases of sensory processing disorder and with a lot of kids with those sensory struggles, and we're able to see really great progress and changes. So we'll really dive next into the science of how our care really helps these kids. So it's first, we have to understand the significance of sensory processing and the significance in our children's lives and how it can turn simple experiences into overwhelming challenges oftentimes, especially compared to parents or children that don't have sensory challenges. Often the littlest things are the things that a lot of kids with sensory challenges have difficulty with. So a real life example of a child's struggle with sensory issues and highlighting how these challenges can affect even small aspects of daily life. So sensory issues are pretty common. So they affect nearly 1 in 6 kids, with the number growing more and more each year. We're seeing more kids get diagnosed with sensory processing disorder and have sensory issues than ever before. So it's not normal, and kids don't grow out of sensory challenges. The average pediatrician and medical provider today not only will completely overlook and miss sensory issues in children, but they'll often even dismiss them as completely normal, which is simply not the case. Or they might even say, don't worry, they'll grow out of it, which once again, that's not the case as well. So there's different types of sensory issues. So there's hypersensitivity and hyposensitivity and sensory seeking behaviors. Hypersensitivity is when they're super sensitive to loud noises or textures or tastes or smells. The sensory system is hyperactive or hypersensitive. Sensitivity is when they're almost numb to it. That's where kids often have this very high pain tolerance, where it's almost like a normal kid would freak out and cry, and a kid with hyposensitivity issues or hyposensory issues actually feels very little pain, or those things don't bother them at all. And then sensory seeking behaviors, these are the kids that are always touching things. They're always looking for input into their nervous system to calm it down. They're running around a million miles a minute, touching things. They're maybe crashing into things. They love physical touch. They love to be squeezed and things like that. So these sensory issues can have a lot of impact on a child's daily life. So from school and education to social interactions to family dynamics to overall health, it can affect children with sensory challenges in many different ways and in many different environments. Some kids might do really, really well in a home setting, but in a school setting is when a lot of their sensory issues come out. Some kids might do really, really well in a school setting, but at home is when a lot of the sensory issues come out. Or some kids, it's both, or all of those areas where they struggle. So there's potential factors that contribute to sensory issues. Those things which we find in our office through taking our case histories are things like being premature or early delivery or birth trauma, C-section deliveries, vacuum extractions, even can be environmental triggers like exposure to mold or things like that. We really call these stressors the perfect storm of events. These lead to subluxation or dysfunction within the nervous system, dysautonomia, and vagus nerve dysfunction, which are often the root cause of these sensory issues. So a lot of parents have already tried a lot of different things with coping strategies and OT and breath work, yoga, sensory diets, supplements, and stuff like that. And they might have seen some little successes with that, but not the big changes that they're really looking for. So it's important to address that root cause with our pediatric chiropractic care, focus on the brain and the nervous system in order to fully address that root cause of sensory issues in kids. We highly recommend learning more about our scans that we have in our office that we measure the nervous system, most specifically the EMG scan, which is basically measuring how much stimulation the child has to their brain. It's really telling us how much total tension they have and how much stimulation is going to their brain. So after doing a quick walkthrough of these sensory issues and the science behind our care and really how we can help, we really invite you to check out other articles on our website with sensory processing disorder, chiropractic, or even the scans. We invite you to tag one of your friends or one of your family members that might have a child that's struggling with sensory issues. Follow our Facebook, social media channels. And then if you're like, okay, this sounds like something that we need to explore, then give our office a call to schedule an appointment, 941-822-8828. We would love to help your son or daughter with their sensory struggles. It's something that is one of the most common things that we take care of, and a lot of the kids that we see in our office are these sensory challenges. So we'd love to be able to help. So as always, guys, I'm Dr. Matt, and we will see you guys on our next video. Thanks for watching.